Start recording. Okay, so for the next 90 minutes or so, before we do our QCA, questions, conversations, and advice segment that we do weekdays, I'm going to go through some of the updates I've done on my home lab. Um, I don't know. I'm struggling with how much to put on video so that I don't end up boring people. I mean, you don't want to sit and watch me make Cat 5 cable, Cat 6 cables, whatever, which I have. I'll have all the stuff for making cable stuff. Maybe I'll do like a little segment of that at some point. And Kentone here, I think pretty sure he recommended that I get the HPC 640, which I recommend you go check out. This Git repo is rdvxrob slash homelab, not too hard to remember. And so github.com rdvxrob slash homelab, which I'll try to put in. I think that's in the playlist notes. So anytime I do any work on my home lab, I've been trying to make a playlist on YouTube. So hi YouTube, we're recording this, and there's not going to be music or anything. So, and I'll hopefully that'll keep me on track. So this is the hardware. I've updated the overview. Hey, I've updated the overview here on my Enterprise Home Lab, and actually I want to paste that too. Linux Home Lab Init. I'll call this Init. Whoops, that's because it's stupid. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I could do. I don't know why that did that anyway. I don't know why I did that in a Linux Home Lab Init. It's because of this the other thing. Yeah. Anyway, so I've done a lot of cleanup on this repo because I've had to. As you can see, I have a big disaster I have to fix. If you want to know where I'm at in the process, the TLDR is I've decided to add a second rack, which I'll go over right now, and the second rack is going to have one U for my MSI Trident. So here's the hardware I have. A lot of this hardware I inherited. I bought the server recently for a great deal. I'm going to do all my virtualization on the server when I need to bring up and take down, lots of VMs for different configurations and that kind of thing. So that's my server's dedicated for that. So dobro utra. And so the stuff I have left over from SkillStack is I have 20 Mac Minis, 2016, really low power Mac Minis that are better than Raspberry Pis, and those are all right here. 10 of them are on the bottom floor, on the bottom level of the rack. Here, let me zoom in. 10 of them are on the bottom level of the rack over here, and another 10 of them are behind that. And the cables are just a mess. It's a total mess. I knew it was going to be a mess, so I went ahead and I bought all of the stuff to make my own cables. I had all the stuff. It's just in storage, so I bought newer stuff. So I have 2 sets of it. Anyway, so I'm going to be making exact distance cables. I bought patch panels for the rack, and so the rack's going to take on an entirely new configuration. The Raspberry Pi stuff up at the top, we decided to get rid of Raspberry Pi since I only have 2s right here. I have it turns out I only have the most of the Raspberry Pis that I had were 2s, so I'm getting rid of those. I'm talking fast because I want to catch everybody up. And so the Raspberry Pis, I'll go ahead and donate them to a friend or somebody. I mean, I think Jalopy spoke for them, but I'm just going to send them to somebody. I'm going to be doing that with a lot of the extra hardware that I have too, by the way, because I don't have room for it. I'm going to be moving into an apartment potentially in the city, and I only have space for this rack, which is why this is all happening now, because I was waiting to move into a big house with a garage and everything. The whole plans have changed because we're, my wife's going to do an MFA for 2 or 3 years. Then we're going to move probably into an urban area and have a cabin in the out, wherever. So I, before I was a teacher, and so I was on a budget, and I put everything in this IKEA rack over here, this homegrown IKEA rack. But I've spent several thousand on this new rack stuff I have here. So I do have an old Mac Pro. I have an old Mac Pro that will be interesting to check out. I'm going to try to put Linux on that. I have tried it before. I know it will run it. I just don't know if all the devices will be supported and stuff. We're going to have to see about that. I do have an iMac. I'm going to leave the iMac as an iMac because sometimes I need to do deployment testing. For example, I'm writing benevolent botnet software in Go, and I want to be able to deploy and to multiple device types. And that includes, having a Windows system around and having a Mac and, all this stuff. So, because I want to be able to run my botnet on anything. And I have one Raspberry Pi 4 that turned out to work really well. a couple of 3Bs, which are too low to run the PoE hat. So the only thing I can do PoE on is this one Raspberry Pi 4. Oh well. I am returning the 16 PoE ports that I had device because I don't need it. I have 12 PoEs already built into the Southern Neck Gear I've had forever. I just have to find the mounting hardware for it because I was in the IKEA thing and it didn't need the mounting hardware. I got to find that. So we have the Netgear Nighthawk, which I was looking through the configuration of the Netgear Nighthawk while I was trying to decide whether I want to use it for VLAN or something because it can do that, and um, I was trying to decide whether I should do 192, 192.168 network, with like only like a couple hundred, IPs, or if I should actually go for a full network architecture and use the 10 dot. As of this moment, I'm still open to changing my mind to this, but as of this moment, I'm going to keep everything on the 192 network, and I'm going to do a zero trust environment, and I'll get to that. So I've got two NVIDIA Jetson Nanos with 128 CUDA cores each, so I'll be doing machine learning on that. And then the switches and the PDUs. I don't have the PDU segments and stuff like that on this particular list. Anyway, so eventually I do want to get a beefy not rack mount. I decided not to get a rack mounted UPS because when and if I actually can afford a UPS, a good one that will actually run for like 20, 30 minutes during an outage, it's going to be spendy. It'll be over $5,000 probably. So I do eventually want to add an enterprise grade UPS. Another thing about the UPS that I found out that's really awesome is that enterprise level UPSs like that can plug into 15 amp wall sockets and kind of keep you from having to change and put in an extra 20 amp circuit for a given room, which I did in the house that I built. I put all the low voltage wiring, and then I ordered the high voltage wiring stuff because I can't do that. And so I don't want to do that. And it turns out, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but it looks like if you have a UPS and you have a rack, that the UPS can take care of your power demands even if you don't have enterprise grade electricity, electrical outlets. And so that's something I don't really know about yet. If anybody does know, leave me a comment or write to me in Discord or whatever, and let me know. Because before, when I did this, when I set up my Homelab in my closet in my last house in the suburbs, I had two 20 amp sockets put right next to each other just for this kind of rack stuff. And I had a kind of a consumer grade, shitty APC UPS that, kind of a desktop sort of UPS, and it was, just barely would tell you if there was fluctuations in your power. It was only there to keep the power flow smooth. It really wasn't there to do anything beyond that. So I went ahead and gave up the space in the rack that I normally would have put a UPS, and I am just going to accept the fact that one day that an electrician, we're just talking about whether having a UPS would cover the fact that, see, I'm going to have 3 PDUs drawing 15 watts maximum before they circuit break, and that should be all the power that I ever need, unless I am running every single device at max. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near the 15 amp draw. So each one of the PDUs is 15 amps, and if I have a UPS, I'm going to plug all those into a single UPS, and then plug the UPS and juice it up from the wall socket, a traditional whatever 15, 20 amp wall socket. So the thinking that I have, and this is what I need to validate, is that eventually when I get that, I won't have to deal with the problems. I mean, if you have 2 racks with like 50, 60 computers in there, you're going to be pulling more power than that wall socket's going to be able to put out if you use it. If you don't use it, if the lights are not blinking and it's just like sitting there, you're fine. But if you actually use it to do something, you're probably going to heat up your room and you're going to draw, way more power than one 15 amp wall socket's going to be able to do. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. So, and I don't have, here's the thing. When I'm taking a home lab, I almost want to call it, instead of calling it a home lab, I want to call it an apartment lab. In fact, I might change it to that because I want to make a lab that's portable. I want to make a lab that's, relatively big in scope because I got extra hardware, but I also want to make it so that it'll run in an apartment. You check the load curve on the UPS charging. Yeah, yeah. So if the UPS is like an hour or 2 hours long, uh, learning lab. Yeah. So learning, I want to make it. What I want to do is I want it so that I can take both of the racks and the UPS, and I can go to a college dorm, which is basically what we'll be doing. And you think we should definitely take that apartment lab? Yeah, let's change it to home lab because a home lab, uh, apartment lab, Init, because a home lab, if I have a home lab, I have a garage, I can put an extra electrical circuit in there, I can do all kinds of stuff, because I'm going to be running power tools and all kinds of stuff in there. But I want to make a lab that is bigger than just one server you're plugging into the wall, which is obviously the smallest possible thing you can do. Um, and that you could actually take hardware and put it in it. So maybe I do need to change. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to change it to apartment lab in it because it really is an apartment. It's designed so that you can play. Okay, so why all of this talk about UPS? Because if I do that, I don't want to put this rack together and to discover I don't have enough power. Right? I mean, that would be horrible. Right now, I'm never going to come close to the power drain because I haven't loaded everything up yet. It's not running stuff. But I've been watching. And by the way, I have PDUs that have monitors on them so I can see what my draw is all the time. And I've never gotten over like two amps on that PDU because they're not doing anything. So, but as soon as they start doing something like particularly machine learning or something, and the machine learning are probably going to be safe because I'll probably be is the rack on wheels. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I made the biggest thing one of the biggest criteria is I wanted the wheels to be somewhat beefy so that I can actually move it and put ramps down and stuff like that in order to move it because I don't want to have to disassemble the rack every time. That's like just a big no. But and yeah, I mean I think we'll be it. Also, everything is going to be flush, so if I want, I could probably put foam between the computers or something. The minis are not mounted in any way. They're on the bottom. The whole dorm is going to start blinking. Yeah, I mean that'll be a problem. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do machine learning just yet. I mean we'll find out. So so yeah, but so yeah, I think so. Anyway, I'm just talking things through. Today's going to be about etcd. I'm going to try to get that in as much, but I do want to catch everybody up on the stream and on the YouTube video about where I'm going from and where I'm coming from, because I think this is my theory. If you know for sure, let me know. Oh yeah, the room will be really warm. But here's the thing: I don't mind a warm room. It'll also be full of heavy metal poisoning, mercury vapor poisoning too, which I was thinking about. I'm gonna have to get a really, really, really good. Hey, Ghost in the Shell. At the booties, a UPS with backup power time at 10 minutes for something like web server. You draw the power from cell panels. Nice. See, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm seriously thinking of getting a larger UPS that could still fit on a dolly, a moving dolly, and with a curve that will allow it to keep up with everything drawing. If every single device drew at maximum power, which is not going to happen, but if it did, it would have to be able to keep up with that for like 10, 20, 30 minutes, right? And then the batteries would like recharge because the power consumption will go under the curve, and then the UPS can kind of protect you from lots of things power related, including like over drying and blowing your circuits in your dorm. you know, because you couldn't plug this in if you didn't do it that way. Can you imagine going to school and then like bringing 2 racks full of material? I mean, in my situation, you probably only want 1 rack. But yeah. So anyway, here's what are the use cases. I'm just going to recap the purpose of my home lab of this lab. I'll stop saying home lab. Of this, I guess, apartment lab. It's a facilitated development of on-prem cloud-native infrastructure management, software services primarily involving Kubernetes and major Kubernetes applications. So it's mostly for doing Kubernetes stuff, but not all. Is involving Kubernetes applications and running intrusion um, and running intrusion detection scans for pen testing. So I am going to be running, the thing that's going to be running all the time is going to be me scanning the internet for people to hack. Or not just me, but authorized targets that have that have some sort of bug bounty programs, stuff like that. Generator is a fault system. Oh my gosh, automatic once solar power's off. Yeah, it sounds like you have a great setup. That's a fantastic setup. Uh, let's see, you're going to use the same amount of power, or even a bit more with UPS, because the UPS would be charging the little battery you use. And powering your circuit if it's offline. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to look at it. I mean, if it all fails, then I have the worst case scenario. I can actually find what circuits are in the apartment, and hopefully the entire apartment's not on a single circuit, and then I can plug into each circuit. I am. But see, I'm going to have a UPS at some point no matter what, because, if somebody turns the blender on, I don't want to lose my rack, which is the reason you get a basic UPS in the first place. The kind that fit, you can get like a $1,000 UPS that'll fit in the rack that'll keep you from browning out if there's like a thunderstrike or something. But, I probably want to do more than that. Intrusion detection is different for running pen testing. I'm sorry. Scans and intrusion detection honeypots. Intrusion detection experiments. So, yeah. I mean, I am thinking of like doing that. So, install and maintain a primary Kubernetes on-prem. Experiment with the different separated Kubernetes clusters. Explore microcates and Talos. Experiment with the communication, MTLS, gRPC on REST. So I had to write this up because I wanted to tell myself, what am I making here? And this is also, I was reminded to do this by the Zero Trust architecture document that was produced for America anyway. And it says you have to know what you're doing and who your roles are and everything. So, and then this is the infrastructure stack. I picked, this used to be Kubernetes stack. In urban areas, if you are drawing too much power, you can draw attention of the lawman in certain jurisdictions. You'll think I'm growing weed or running cyber or running crypto. Yeah, I know. I don't care. Yeah. Because they'll see I'm not doing anything illegal. I don't plan on doing anything illegal. No. I'm not. I'm not going to. It's just not worth the hassle, man. So, I mean, I'll do legal stuff that is like on the border of legal. But not illegal. I mean, I got too many other things to do and make, it's like, unless it comes to it. If it comes to it, then yeah. But anyway, Ubuntu Server OS, Cedro Talos OS, Isinga 2, this is Nagios revisited. Ansible, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I'm going to do SSH clients that are homegrown SSH clients that use production grade SSH libraries in Go. There's already a lot of software that does that, so that's not anything new. etcd, which is the brain of Kubernetes and everything else. We're going to use Creo for my container engine, Calico for my CNI instead of Flannel. Metal will be to improve, the IP communications and stuff. They can check remotely with infrared cameras. Yes. Is to not draw attention, hence why I live in the boonies. Yeah, if you live in boonies and you're doing this kind of thing like professionally, then yeah. There's a list of hacker laws lying around. I'm sure there are. Node feature discovery, NVIDIA feature discovery. These things are actually built into OpenShift, but I needed to add them. I actually was administering this very thing today. NFS storage class, SMB storage class, FFS. It turns out that my router has a Windows network share, so I can actually use an SMB storage class and just plug a USB terabyte hard drive into my router and get enough of that to test the SMB storage class. I don't want to test Active Directory and all that stuff. I don't care, but I probably should eventually do that, but not in this setup. I considered seriously putting an entire Active Directory server in here and using it. A lot of people do who have a lot of Windows devices. That's how they manage them. But if I can get away with just having a network share, that's fine. That's the main thing that I want to be able to use. And I can use SMB, I can use Samba and Samba client and practice all that stuff. I can also share files safely with other people in the house if I want to do that. So SFFS is what those Tridents are going to become. They have 1 terabyte each. So that should be a 6 terabyte cluster. No, 5 terabytes of SFFS storage, 1 terabyte of NFS storage, and what else? Then we have Keycloak for my applications administration access. That's different than an IAM solution like Kubernetes. I should probably put that there. Why don't I have that there? Keycloak, Open LDAP slash Kerberos. That's going to be my stuff. I am not. The engine is too slow. You think the OPA engine is too slow? Did you use Kyverno? Which one are you using? We use Gatekeeper at work, so I have to use it. I kind of want to use that, but then I have to learn Rego and everything. Harbor and Trivy, which is great for scanning and running your own internal, copy of containers, making sure they're not compromised. Computer Fraud Abuse Act, yeah. You like OPA, huh? Well, we have to talk about OPA versus Kyverno. I might test Kyverno. Just a simple webhook for admission control. Well, we use OPA for lots more than that. Yeah, we do. It's more than just admission control. We have other stuff. We do resource management guarantees and things like that. Like actual policies. Hope Q&A is back today. Yeah, Q&A is back today. Harvard Trivia, Istio. Of course, we have to have Istio. The new Istio is not too bad. I can't believe I'm saying this, honestly. We were like looking at the Istio upgrade. They had created Istio CTL. I can't wait to install this. Tecton, which is causing me all kind of pain right now because it's so screwed up. So I have to do that. I have to put Argo on here because Argo, you just have to have Argo and Argo CD. These are kind of overlap, I know. Elasticsearch is also overlap with other stuff. I don't know if I'm going to use Fluentd or Logstash or Splunk. I like Splunk, but I don't know. Kibana, Prometheus, Thanos, Grafana. These are like basic stuff you have to pretty much have no matter what in any kind. You like Argo CD? Yeah, a lot of people like Argo CD. I'm not putting Jenkins in here, which is not really in the same space, right? But Tecton and Argo CD kind of overlap. Would you agree? And same with GitLab, right? I've considered using GitLab as my internal Git provider because I can't use GitHub Enterprise. At least I don't think I can. Can you use GitHub Enterprise? Tech for 2 months. Never with a smile from you. I don't like Tecton. No, I want to like it. I really do. I just don't. I don't like it. Can you use GitHub Enterprise at home? Hey, Tio Funkin. No. It depends on what you're running at home. I could run Git at home and have my own Git server that way. Your apartment is an enterprise, exactly. You can run GitLab at home. GitLab. I did a whole thing on GitLab versus GitHub. Go look at it on YouTube. I go back and forth. I've been back and forth on that forever, but I am solidly a GitHub fan now. But I'm seriously thinking about at home running my own thing. I know I love Git. Oh, Git. I've known about Git for 6 years. So Git is awesome. And nope, sorry, you can't. Oh, you're trying to look up my YouTube. Yeah, YT is for queuing YouTube videos. So here you go, the same name. Anyway, so yeah. I do think I'm going to do Git. I think I'm going to do a Git deployment because it's super awesome. Is there anything like Git that deploys into the Kubernetes? Does Git deploy into Kubernetes? That would be so cool. I wonder if they have one. Spinnaker, I haven't used it. I am now using OpenBSDs. Yeah. Helm chart for it. Yeah, I don't like Helm charts, but yeah. Git provides a Helm chart. Yeah, until I install Kubernetes. Non-customized install can be done with Helm repo, add Git charts. I can squash this. I'm getting really good at squashing Helm charts into Kate's apps, I call them, and you can go ahead and deploy that way. Running Git in Kubernetes. Yeah, we're gonna run Git. I'm gonna use Git. It's just gonna be me, but yeah. I don't even know if I really need it, to tell you the truth. I don't. I mean, I could do it for like my ultra private stuff, the stuff I really don't want anybody to see, you know. But for that stuff, I just use raw Git repos. But I don't know how you could deploy a raw Git repo. Can you? We need to practice that. How could you deploy a raw Git repo into Kubernetes? You could totally do it, though. You could do it. You could deploy it to simulate real world migration. Yeah. Oh, that's true. You would need we need a Git provider. Absolutely right. We have to have an internal Git provider in order to do Tecton integration pipelines and stuff, and triggers off stuff. You know. Can you run GitHub? Can you run GitHub Enterprise in the? Wait. Can you run GitHub Enterprise? Enterprise at home. I don't think you can. Start a free trial. That would be so cool. I would love that. Here, can no certain runners. Where's our visual occasion versus my brain? Yes, indeed. Increase developer velocity. There's that word again. A free trial. Empower your team. Nope. Onboarding guide. Can I run GitHub Enterprise in my Homelab? You know why? Because if I do this, I could actually model exact processes. You know what I mean? I could model exact processes that are using the latest, and then I could deploy those at work. Because I can't do that with GitLab. If I want to make, let's say I want to make a tech time pipeline that uses GitHub Enterprise, and I want to deploy it at home, and I want to get it all working and everything, and then I want to move it over into our enterprise, and I have to have GitHub Enterprise for that. I can't, unless there's something I can do with the pipeline to make it, you know, say look at GitLab versus GitHub. Is with GitHub and Git, even though we sell Git, GitHub is a backend for discovery, Git remote, setup URL. There's some interesting stuff here. We got a lot of Homelab people here. Push origin, Homelab. Yeah. GitLab in a Homelab. See, GitLab is designed to be set up in a Homelab. It's designed so that you can do that kind of thing. I don't think you can do that with Enterprise. I do not think you can. I don't think you can. GitHub for Enterprise. Tools, yes. Tools developer. What is Strager's title? He had that. Why not GitLab? Because it doesn't work with the systems I want to test. Because I have GitHub. So I think Microsoft will allow you to have nice things eventually. Use GitHub Enterprise as a load balancer. You start with GitHub Actions for Enterprise Server. Smart way to work together with like the best. Can you start GitHub Enterprise Server? Self-hosted runners for your enterprise. Huh. Yeah, I don't think so. Yep. Can you self-host GitHub Enterprise? There's a video right there for it. Let's go watch this. You won't be able to hear it, unfortunately, because sound is...
Welcome to the Homelab Show, episode
canceled.
25, version control with Git. And I'm going to try to make a lot of puns in this because some people may not get it. Some people get it like Jay. And
get off my lawn.
This is YouTube
yeah,
stuff,
we can just do play on words with this.
It's a show. They have a Homelab show.
I got to get a few of them out as soon as we start here. But
I should
this is an
subscribe to the
important
Homelab
topic
show.
because
much learn version control. And I remember when I was taking college classes before I graduated, I was really upset that there wasn't any Mercurial. No, it's not a server in the sense
Well, they're doing YouTube show stuff. Maybe I should just stream to YouTube from now on. YouTube has way better viewership, but you have to be a big person over there, and I'm not. XCP-ng stuff, yeah. Where is it? Where is it? Linode. Ugh. Just trying to get an answer here. Push vimrc to different VMs using Git. No. Reason why I'm a cloud hater is because I want to isolate IoT devices. Okay. I mean, this looks pretty good. We got to go watch this. GitHub is fine for major university. I saw empty thumbnail. NPM left. Ugh. Well, I don't want the answer. They're talking synology and stuff as well. You can work if you partner. I already know this. I did that like 2.5 years ago. Yeah. I deliberately didn't get affiliate. I actually had to write to them to have them take my affiliate away so that I could dual stream to YouTube. And then I decided to get rid of YouTube. It was too bad. It was a bunch of a pain in the ass. You don't need an enterprise license for GitHub Enterprise. Give me a link that says that. Find me a link that says that, because that's what I want to be true, but I don't know that that's true. I don't know that it's true. I want it to be true. So help me out. Yeah, if that's true, then I'm gonna do git text search. I just did. Yeah, and I can't find it. I've done it twice. Yep. What should I search for? Don't you need an enterprise license to run GitHub Enterprise? Yeah, I think you do. You don't? Do I need an enterprise license to run GitHub Enterprise at home? I mean, that was in the video, but it took too long to find. About licenses. How about this? If you deploy GitHub Enterprise in addition to using GitHub Enterprise Cloud, you can synchronize your license usage between deployments. That's not the same thing. About licensing for GitHub. GitHub Enterprise offers 2 deployment options. In addition to GitHub Enterprise Cloud, you can use GitHub Enterprise Server, that's what I want, to host development work for your enterprise in your data center or a supported cloud. That's what I want. GitHub uses a unique user license model. For enterprise products that include multiple deployment options, GitHub determines how many license seats you're consuming, number of unique users across all your deployments. Each user only consumes 1 license, no matter how many GitHub Enterprise Server instances you use, or how many organizations are a member of the GitHub Enterprise Cloud. The model allows each person to use multiple GitHub Enterprise deployments, including without incurring extra costs. I think at worst, what they're saying is that if I deployed it at home, I would be paying for 1 GitHub Enterprise Server seat, which is probably crazy expensive, but still. To ensure the same user isn't consuming more than 1 license for multiple enterprise deployments, you can synchronize license use between your GitHub Enterprise Server and GitHub Enterprise Cloud deployments. I don't have Enterprise Cloud. I don't want it. In order to use a GitHub Enterprise Server instance, you must upload a license file that GitHub provides when you purchase, renew, or add user license. About synchronization of license use for GitHub Enterprise. I kind of want to set up GitHub Enterprise because that's something I want to do for contractual stuff. And based on user count, yeah. For a person using multiple GitHub Server Enterprise environments to consume a single license, you must synchronize the license between both. When you purchase or renew GitHub Enterprise, GitHub provides a license file for you. A license file is an expiration date, controls the number of people who can use GitHub Enterprise. After you download and install GitHub Enterprise Server, you must upload the license file to unlock application. Sounds like a key. GitHub sales team. I mean, yeah, further reading about billing for enterprise. Setting up a GitHub Enterprise Server instance. I mean, that helped, but I don't know. Still got questions. I still have questions, people. Do you have questions? Setting up a GitHub Enterprise. Let's see. You can install a GitHub Enterprise Server on the supported virtualization platform of your choice. I don't want virtualization. I want raw. You found something? What did you find? All right, back in interface. I think we were just reading this. System overview. You can choose to deploy GitHub Enterprise on-prem or to support a cloud environment. We just literally read this. I'm pretty sure we were just reading this exact thing. Configure about authentication for enterprise. GitHub Actions are extra. See, this is what I want it for. I want to be able to put GitHub Actions and stuff like that built in, even though our company doesn't use them. Per user per year. That's not bad at all. That's nothing, man. I'll pay that in a heartbeat to have GitHub Enterprise at home, because it'll just be me. Because that way every one of my deployments, bug bounty. So you can put enterprise server at home and then have fun. Oh, you get a free license if you're gonna do the bug bounty. Oh, wait. This is awesome. GitHub Enterprise is the on-prem GitHub thing. Ruby on Rails, blah, blah, blah. You can request a trial of GitHub Enterprise server for security testing. Okay. Code obfuscation may be exploited for further investigate GitHub Enterprise, but only for the purposes of the bounty program. So I'm probably gonna have to buy a license if I want to put anything in it. User-wide focus areas, out of scope. Man, this is great. Thank you for that link. Ineligible submissions, vulnerabilities, bypassing source code obfuscation. Shikes. Dang, baby. I want to get some of these. License restrictions. Yeah, I mean, those are the answers we want. I swear I did. That's it. There's no more scrolling. Oh, that one. Scroll down. Please do bug bounty on stream. No. I mean, I will do as much as I can of bug bounty on stream, but I'm not going to risk it. There's so many reasons not to do bug bounty on stream live. And I know Jay Beers just doesn't care and he's just doing it. He's going to get burned, man. Mark my words. Yeah, I know. What am I doing? I'm just setting up, whether I want to, I'm just going, this is my Homelab Init, or apartment lab Init, if you want to call it that. You know what? We could like qualify that title again. I Homelab Init like rolls off the tongue better. So there. Homelab. I'm going to call it Homelab. Homelab Init. Yeah, I'm not changing. What's the risk of doing bug bounty on stream? That's a great question. What time is it? We should do, you know what? Let's do that as a QCA question. That's a great QCA question. Okay, maybe we'll get JBeers here. We need some cybersecurity people in on the thing. I don't want to talk about it right now because I want to talk about it during QCA, which is in 20 minutes. No, QCA is in an hour. So we have one more hour. Come back for QCA and we'll answer that. I'm putting it in the thing. If you don't know what QCA is, it's questions, conversations, and advice. And you can go submit your questions to the QCA thing on Discord, or you can put them in the chat later. I'm putting this one in there because I want to make sure it gets on the list. Coordinated vulnerability disclosure, yes. Refactor about malware. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it. Yeah, I think I probably have malware on my router right now. I have to like get it. I have to restart it. I haven't restarted it in a long time because I'm never up when my stepson is up. He's up. He's on it literally on his computer 24/7 a day. I swear to God. And so I can't reboot. You know. So I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that like tonight. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get GitHub Enterprise. I'm going to try really hard. And if I have to buy it, I have to buy it. Having a GitHub server is in part of any. I want to model as much of the enterprise that I would set up for a small to mid-sized company here, and so I'm for a Kubernetes cluster, and I'm going to stick with GitHub Enterprise. Your average product security guy. Windows Server then. Well, no. You can test it, yeah, but I don't want to test it for 45 days. I want to use it. I want to set up CI/CD things that use it all the time. So then when I do my deployments, I actually have internal deployments. For example, I want to be able to do GitOps and have GitHub Enterprise be a part of my Tecton thing that deploys changes to my pen testing scanner live. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then after that, yeah. And that's like, we found out that's $245 per year, per person. So I think that's what the number you guys saw, right? All right. Well, let's do some etcd stuff. Yeah, I am going to buy a license for Enterprise for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's certain things that as professionals, I think have to have, and it's just a part of it's a cost of doing business in this tech. And you might not like it as a beginner. I'm sorry. You have to have a VMware license. You can try to get around it if you want to, but you really do need one. And I think now I know there's another thing that I have to have a license for. Do I like GitT? Yes, I love GitT. If you're a hobbyist and you don't want to emulate the enterprise and you don't want to write Tecton and Argo CD pipelines and things like that, and you don't want to experiment with GitHub Actions and stuff like that on your own using, I mean, you can do all of that. So. Yes, thank you for sharing that. We definitely need to go look at that. Anyway, so the main thing I need to focus on today is etcd. We have 1 hour left, but I think we can get through this. Is anybody, by the way, if there's anybody out here, again, this is artifactsrob/homelab. artifactsrob/homelab. If you want to go review this document, and if you see a problem on it, please open a PR. I'm not a PR. Open like an issue. Like if you want to start a thread about some choice of thing here, like why are you using GitHub, and you want to have it be documented. This is one of the reasons I'm making this Homelab a separate Git repo, so that we can have conversation threads about it. Okay, so because I want. I mean, it just makes sense to do it this way. Plus, it's also reinforcing. No, not Discord. We're reinforcing Homelab. Okay, so this is kind of where I want the conversation to happen about my Homelab. And if you have an issue with it, so if you say, so you could open an issue and say, why do you have GitLab or something like that? You can start drawing something or get an idea of what you have in mind. Oh, I already have that. Yeah, we're gonna do more of that. We're gonna do all the drawing and everything. So, but I mean, what I want you to, and then we'll open up a wiki and you can like create, I want this to be the place where the conversations are happening, because this is all going to get saved and versioned in perpetuity, even if my Discord goes away. I mean, you can have a conversation, a real-time conversation on Discord, but I'd rather have a threaded forum discussion in the wiki about this that concludes the designs of my Homelab and the documents and everything like that. So people can like, you can come in there and kind of participate in that part of the community. So if you want to do that, that's what that's going to be about. It is, as CC, completely open licensing, so anybody can copy anything. And hopefully I won't put anything in here that's too dangerous. So I want to go through the design decisions really quick. I know we got kind of distracted, but and then when we have like a debate about something like why are you using GitLab versus GitHub, I can actually document my design decisions, so somebody coming into this home lab can make decisions based on their own home lab and whether they want to use it or not. So it can kind of be a straw man. I don't like that term, but a bunch of server hijacked my repo. Won't do that again. They did, really? That's not cool. That's really not cool. So yeah, in fact, I've started putting everything in my personal account stuff on GitHub. I used to be really into making organizations, and having people join your organization, stuff like that. First of all, you don't get credit for that. So when people do searches, it doesn't come up in your stuff. And secondly, it's too easy to lose control and access to those organizations, which I did. Skill Stack, they decided it wasn't a school anymore, and I lost the entire thing. The entire thing. They just decided it wasn't a school, and all of a sudden I can barely find anything from my original Skill Stack stuff. I found out that it's still there. You just have to know how to get to it, which is not hacking, I promise. It's not. All right, so design decisions. What did I do? I went with Ubuntu Server. I'm going to tell you about that really quickly. I went with Ubuntu Server because Red Hat might be big enterprise, but it's unnecessary in my home lab. I really don't care. I hate having to context switch between Red Hat and Ubuntu all the time, because Ubuntu Server is what all the containers have in it, pretty much. Most Kubernetes stuff is designed on it. Most training is designed on it. Most hacking is designed on it. Kali Linux is based on a Debian, which is Ubuntu. And, so I don't want to have to context switch on my OS all the time. And by the way, I agree with Canonical way more than Red Hat in terms of like business direction and ethics. Free IP, it doesn't mean, I'm not going to use Red Hat stuff. Obviously, I'm going to use Scopio and Builda and Podman and all those stuff. No free IPA. I've decided against this. Hayden, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Hayden's putting together all kinds of documentation on how to use IPA, free IPA. I have no intention of using it. I'm going to be using Keycloak and OpenLDAP and Kerberos, and do it that way. No Proxmox. I'm not going to do Proxmox. I'm going to do KVM with Virtual Machine Manager straight from my machine, because I only have one machine, and I don't like the web interface when I can use Virtual Machine Manager or the command line from KVM. And then I can write my own things up. I don't need. If you want Proxmox, fine. Just don't. This is why I'm not using it. No VMs and main Kubernetes. So my main Kubernetes deployment is going to be on 20 Mac Minis and 4 Raspberry Pis, 3 Raspberry Pis. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not based on KVM Libert. It accesses that, but it also has a lot of other bloat in it that it doesn't need, like the whole ChronoSync crap, which already burned me, because I deployed to 16 of these things, got to 14, it fell on its face, and then I read the max nodes per cluster is 32, and I was like, why didn't you tell me that before I install this shit? I'm telling you, Proxmox is not what you think it is. I do not like it. There, I've said my piece. I will never touch it again. If you want to use it, that's fine. I don't. I want to use KVM and Libert directly instead of some stupid ass web GUI on top of it that's using some broken ass synchronization between multiple systems that doesn't need it. Anyway, so I'm sorry if the frustration you hear in my voice is not directed at any person. It's because I wasted a lot of time on that, and if I had known about it, I wouldn't have picked it in the first place. So anyway, let's keep going. etcd is the one I am working on right now. This is a big deal. So etcd is the brain of Kubernetes. It has to have, it's not very fast. It's not as fast as Redis, but it does have, high availability. We're going to put that on 3 different nodes and see how that takes care of it. It should be fine on my Mac Minis, but we're going to find out today. I'm using a 192.168.1.0/24 CIDR subnet because I don't need more than that. I don't. And that's the default for my router. I've already set up my IPs that way. I don't care. And all of my Kubernetes stuff's going to be on its own subnet anyway. So could face is routing conflict. You could deploy a VPN. You could connect from a network with your same range, which is still come on default installations. Or actually something usually greater than 5. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility. No VLANs. Nope. I'm not going to do VLANs because I'm doing zero trust. Yeah, let me get to that. So I mean, this might be dumb, but I'm not. VLANs can be defeated. So when it can't be defeated, zero trust. So I am not going to trust any device on my network at all. And the printers, and one of the reasons I want to stay on the 192 network is I want to make it. I mean, there's obviously I can do routing for the 10 dot and all that, but I want it so that the stuff in my network is set up to use a zero trust approach. And so I might get some VPNs that conflict with 192, but so far I haven't had that. If I do have that, I'll rethink the network architecture and I'll change. It's not that hard. I mean, the network architecture is a pain in the ass. I'd have to change configurations and stuff like that. But, uh, I should probably change it to a 10 dot. I would be more confused right now, frankly, by having 10. This is a weird thing that I wasn't planning on. I was doing a hack the box with the VPNs for that the other day, right? I was doing the hack the box VPN, and all the hack the box VPNs are on 10 dot because most VPNs are on 10 dot, obviously, right? And changing the whole addressing or forcing users to do it after their homes, at their homes, pain in the ass. I had experience with lots of companies and either ended up changing the whole addressing or forcing the user to do it at their homes. Oh, you mean the company's VPN itself that you were connecting to had a conflicting 192? Interesting. I see. Yeah, like if you were using a VPN, they were on the 192 network and your home network was on 192. Okay, I missed it. I missed what you're saying. So I mean, that had to have been a small scale. That must have had been some really small scale companies and houses and stuff that were VPNing into. Because anybody of any decency and size would use 10 dots for that kind of VPNing, I would think. So again, this is probably one of the hardest decisions in my thing. It would not route because you're on the same net. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But the flip side of this is also true. Okay, so I almost used a 10 dot network, right? I almost used a 10 dot network. I almost shipped my home network at a 10 dot network. Guess what? The VPNs are. guess what the hack the box VPN is? 10 dot. And I don't know how big the site or subnet is. I don't know, but it's like I could have had the same problem, the reverse problem, by using 10 dot at home. So this is a tough one. But until I hit a problem with this, I'm going to stay on a 192 subnet. I might though. I might actually hit a problem. I have to redo my architecture. I advocate for always using DNS on local networks. You can switch subnets without it being a big deal. Yeah, and Ryan, I'm glad you said that because I am. You know what? I'm going to add that. That's a brilliant point. Yeah, plenty of IP. You know what? That is. I am so glad you said that, Ryan, because I need to elevate DNS deployment earlier. Before I start deploying too many of these components, because if I use IP addresses, it'll be fine. 172. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's kind of a weird one, though, isn't it? You know what? Let's talk about the DNS thing for a second because it might actually screw it up. Because if I set up my own DNS and it conflicts with Kubernetes CoreDNS that's running inside the cluster, we could have problems. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying, but I am really wondering how that's going to play. I mean, it's worth having a DNS server anyway. So my router is acting as a DNS server, but I want to make an official DNS server. You need an official DNS server for some of the other stuff anyway. Configure relate to another external server. Can it? I haven't set up CoreDNS to do that. That's one of the things I want to do. Yeah. Can you have it so that it uses its default stuff and then it also it like kind of like prioritizes it if it doesn't find it? Like in a regular, resolve.conf? I assume so. So I don't know what I'm going to use for DNS then. I'd probably have to just run raw DNS. Recursive design by design. I know it is, but I don't know if CoreDNS propagates the extra unknown things. It may not. It may just drop on the floor. That's what I was asking about. So, Twitch, you changed the ordering of channels in sidebar? What? When did they do that? Well, okay. Yeah, they're changing a lot of things, man. They're getting rid of Pile for DNS. Yeah. I don't like, Pile's too aggressive on the whole advertising thing. But yeah. I tell you TLD to be related to external server one. Server X. Yeah. The reason I'm pausing on this one is because I'm really thinking how that would make my applications look different than they are when they're deployed at work. Because it uses the CoreDNS naming, and I anything I would do that would mess with that, I would want to be careful to mess it up, not to mess it up. So like let's say I deploy Istio at the virtual servers and I model, my internal DNS to a degree. Obviously I'd have to change all of that if I'm going to deploy it because the DNS is going to be completely different. So that's cool. That's some good stuff. Yeah. And there's a plugin for forwarding. Nice. Bye. Thank you, Kentone, for being here. I just unbound if you're running DNS Bear. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what DNS server I'm gonna need. I might just run, good old resolve.conf, and then God, you know how long it's been since I've edited a resolve.conf file? Or not a resolve.conf. Do people even do that anymore? Actually, I when I was at Nike, I used to have to do that. I have to like deploy actual. Yeah, I'm using bind. I still have bind in whatever RPC. Yeah. I would rather do that than run an app. I don't. All of this stuff's going to need DNS of some kind. So, yeah. I'm glad we're talking about this because this actually puts DNS right up there with etcd. In fact, I might want to deploy DNS before etcd because then in etcd I can deploy it using IP numbers, DNS. But am I going to slow everything down with the lookups? No, because it's going to be cached in bind, right? I assume. Give me. I know. Bind configs. Oh, I know. Oh yeah, I got tons of free Nike shoes. You kidding me? Every piece of clothing I had was free. Pretty much. The open pfSense or OpSense unbound, so if your router is compatible, it can be a solution. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think you might be right. I might be onto something there. I think I might need to put pfSense on one of my. I mean, pfSense has DNS built into it and everything, and you can also use it as a router and everything. So if I wanted to set it up on a separate subnet. Things will break and it will be DNS. Yes. Yep. Yeah. It uses unbound, same as OpSense too, right? Isn't that what we want though? It's always DNS. DNS is the target. Honestly, you know what? You've raised a lot of good issues here because one of the things that I want to emulate is DNS takeover resiliency. And you can't do that unless you're running your own DNS server. So like if you want to emulate malware that screws with DNS or that or kind of blue team software that's going to be resistant to domain changes, you have to have control of a DNS server to even model that. I mean, good control of a server, not like, your commodity hardware that you bought. DNS tunnels, exactly. So I am really glad you mentioned that, Ryan, because I had kind of like punted. I had thought about having my own DNS server and went through the whole, free IPA. Do I really need it? It comes with a DNS server. Who gives a shit? And all that. And then I was like, do I really want to run my own? I can just run the one off the router. And now, yeah. We'll put it. It's always DNS. It's always DNS. Yeah. So we definitely have to have a DNS server of some kind. So the question is whether we do old school bind, which I probably will. I'll probably put that on one of my control planes. Am I yelling? People got mad at me for yelling. Not mad at me. They said, I don't like it when you yell. Last night when I was all mellow. I'm sorry. Also, DNSSEC, DNS over TLS, yeah. All that stuff has got to have its own DNS server. Well, we don't have to decide this right now, or do we? I feel like we need to get DNS in the system fast. A deep conversation. It was pretty deep, yeah. It was Sunday, and I was drunk. Vodka's gone, though. I'm all dry. No vodka for me. Everybody, we're still recording a YouTube video. We got to stay on track. Okay, so... this video started out with me planning to install etcd, and I kind of don't want to install etcd until I get DNS set up. And I kind of want to set DNS up on my servers so they're consistent. And that makes me kind of want to do Ansible first. Because if I get Ansible, then I can deploy my DNS settings to change, my results that come from it. I don't really need to change them on the 3 machines, but I don't want to get in the business of that without keeping track of them as recipes and stuff like that. We're not using NixOS because NixOS is not used in any company on planet Earth. It's a great thing. I applaud your enthusiasm. Go have fun with it, and maybe it will be the next normal thing, but it's not right now. I mean, it's cool. So is Geeks. But no. Okay. Dependency graph problem. We do have a dependency graph problem. We absolutely do. Yeah. I think I'm kind of putting him in. You can't do Ansible until you have DNS, and you can't have DNS until you have Ansible. Okay, so we're going to have to do the DNS deployment independently of everything else first, by hand, and decide it now. So Geeks, yeah, I love Geeks. That's cool. I love it. Am I going to use it? No. It's just, there's a lot of cool things out there that I will never use. There was a time when I would have said that about Linux, but no, Linux had my heart as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. All right. Well, I think this just became a stream for the next hour about getting DNS set up, and we need to decide what to use in 2022. Should we use old school bind and just use the straight up Linux support for DNS, or should we not? Cover plugins for Kubernetes. It can have external CoreDNS. I thought about trying that. I don't know if that's overkill though. You know what would be cool about having an external CoreDNS is that the knowledge you use for the external CoreDNS management would also apply to the internal CoreDNS management, which make you a kick-ass Kubernetes CoreDNS admin. You follow me? So if we have the same DNS tool that we're using internal to Kubernetes and external to Kubernetes, by the way, yeah, definitely Pi-hole. Everybody wants Pi-hole. Show me one Pi-hole in Enterprise. Not to mention the fact that the thing is overzealous. Pi-hole is overzealous. It doesn't do what it advertises. I'm sorry. I've tried it. I threw it out the window like 5 years ago. Maybe it's better now. I don't know. You give it to the cluster. You can give the external CoreDNS to the cluster internally. Shit, that decision just got made. I'm not supposed to swear. I'm supposed to be suitable for work, but that was worth the shit that I just said. Check the plugin. Are you saying that we can put CoreDNS inside of Kubernetes and have it serve up to the outside world? Not doing that. The same reason that I'm going to make external etcd. I am not going to put Kubernetes, etcd that comes with kubeadm and puts it in a pod. I'm not going to do that because I don't like the what if Kubernetes breaks thing. If Kubernetes breaks, I don't want all my DNS failing, and I don't want etcd to stop working. In fact, I'm considering using etcd for other things, because I don't necessarily want to install Redis. If I'm going to do install Redis, it's going to be in a container. It's going to be containerized as part of a CCAT app or something, or a Kubernetes application. I don't want that to be the thing. But there may be something that I want to do that's not going to be a Kubernetes app. It's going to be kind of an infrastructure thing on the outside of Kubernetes. This is a big decision in technology deployment and architecture, is like, do you put it in Kubernetes or not? And the decision, there's a lot of people who are running their core DNS from inside of Kubernetes, and that just does not feel right to me. So no offense, but I don't think. But if CoreDNS can be used outside, so CoreDNS server. I think this decision just got made. Yeah, I'm gonna go do it like right now because I need it fast. I want to see how fast I can get it on here. Please tell me I don't have to play with some web interface. Resiliency and disaster recovery, right? I'm actually going to run 3 DNS servers too. I'm going to run, I'm using those 3. So the 3 Mac Minis, I know that they're underpowered for what I'm asking them to do, right? They're probably very underpowered for what I'm asking them to do, but I'm going to run 3 Mac Minis as my sort of HA things. And they're going to be running etcd the control plane kubelet stuff, kubeadm control plane stuff nodes, and they're going to be each one's going to have its own DNS server, and then I'll configure all of my stuff to point to those 3 DNS servers as the primaries, and those will be those, and then we'll set it to fail over to, and they'll be populated off whatever, probably the one from my router instead of off 888. I hate building dependencies on 8888. I hate that. That one server goes down and the whole internet dies. So we're talking about VIPs. What's up? I don't know what you're talking about. Can you give CoreDNS virtual IPs? Oh, right. Yeah. Can you give CoreDNS a Kubernetes service account? Oh, so you're saying you could have it external and then bring it inside. That's what I was hoping. And then you could have it use the internal one. You can have Kubernetes use the external one just like etcd. Yeah. That's amazing. In fact, I wonder if that's how our cluster is configured right now. Yeah. God, this is really good information. Thank you. You guys are so good. Y'all are so good. No gender specific thing there. Yeah. So, draining nodes earlier. Somebody decided to mess with the container in our development server. Can I just say how annoying it is when you have a shared development cluster and one person decides to mess around with the container engine on the development server and then they leave the company? And it's like, it's not there. And we're like going, and it's like all of our stuff's hung on there. I can't even terminate anything. And I did a rolling rollout of a daemon set. For node feature discovery, and it keeps getting hung up on that one, and it won't proceed. It won't proceed to the next one because it's hung up on that one. So then I'm trying to terminate it on that one. I get onto the server. I find out Docker and Containerd aren't even there anymore because they were messing with it. And then these same people would argue with me all the time. It's like, why do you need your own Homelab to practice this stuff? Why can't you just do it on the dev server? I'm like, there you go. Because the dev server, you never know when it's going to be down. There's like a million reasons that it's going to be down all the time. It's not a controlled environment to do any kind of development at all. All right, end of rant. I'm not going to rant about that anymore. All right, so yeah. That's why you need a Kubernetes Linux distro. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is kind of. I'm definitely going to try that, so we'll see. What are they doing? Oh, we're gonna get CoreOS. I have never used it. I don't know how to install it. We're gonna go with that. I feel like we need like subdirectories for each of these. So CoreDNS. And I'm gonna write up the RWX. I'm doing RWX. I'm RWXing. This is CoreDNS installation. It's a part of my thing. I need CoreDNS to install before I can install etcd, because etcd I'm going to put DNS entries in there instead of IP numbers so that I can change to 10.network later if I want to. Because Ryan's a genius. Wait, Ryan, did I give you money? Did I give you rep for saying that thing? I need to. You deserve it. There you go. All right. So, because, oh my God, Ryan used DNS as God intended. I bet you Ryan doesn't just use like one DNS from one provider on any of his systems either. I bet that's true. I don't know. I think I just laugh my ass off when like the whole internet goes down because they all use 8888 on some Cloudflare DNS or Google DNS. What are channel points? Channel points are just my way of trying to do something nice back to you that I can't do otherwise. Ryan's already VIP, so I don't think he wants to be. And by the way, Ryan pretty much camps over here with his IRC. I think that's why he's so high. Name change. Look at these name changes. What's up with that? most of the people that have really high numbers are on IRC. Okay, yeah. Yeah. By the way, these numbers are never going down. We're not going to allow you to buy anything. The only thing they're good for is just so that I can at some point filter out the people who've been around here longer than other people. And running in my shell account, yeah. And I don't. If you're doing that, you deserve all those points because you're a genius. Did I already make my own shell for bonsai? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it just one command at a time. Yeah, I might make a shell at some point, but right now I don't really need it. I just need one command and then another command. So whatever the outlying shell is. I will have some sort of scriptability, so you can say run this and I'll run this next thing. Because as soon as you start doing a shell, then you have to have piping and parsing and arguments and all that, and I don't want to do it. Also, praise be the IETF. Well, yeah. What did they do recently? Okay, so CoreDNS, external CoreDNS, shared with Kubernetes. What do? You do the piping thing? Oh, you have to share your stuff with me, Hanako. Do you have a link? Do you have a link? I mean, I could go ahead and write my own, but if you have a link, show me your language. Because I'm eventually gonna do it. I'm very close to it. It's just right now it's like do this and do this and do this. But then I got thinking I need to have logic, and as soon as you add logic, you got Turing complete needs, and at that point you're down a serious rabbit hole. And I started going down that rabbit hole, and then I was like, I don't think I want to do this right now. I just want to be able to run commands and I just wrap them in another shell, whatever the shell the calling shell is or something. Okay, so external CoreDNS share with Kubernetes. I have no idea what CoreDNS is. I mean, I know what it is. I'm going to try to get my own installed in here. I've never used it before though. Writing your own scripting language. I mean, I've written my own meta parsing language in Pagan. So, and parser that parse it. And then I just need, I do want to write Bonsai, the Bonsai shell, which is a really, really, really dumbed down version of POSIX shell. I may actually take POSIX shell and implement it in Bonsai as an action. And then we can just, chicken and the egg the thing. So that's a long ways away though, because right now I have to get all this stuff set up and gotta get good with Kubernetes because we lost all our teammates. Not all, but a lot. Direction, etc. Yeah. If I do it, it's just gonna be modeled off POSIX. The problem is I can't use POSIX shell things because I want to be able to write it from a POSIX shell without having it interfere with the POSIX shell, which is, I know that's where it gets weird, but yeah. Yeah. The problem is I wanted to be able to write it so that you could use, the whole -c you would do with bash or something like that. All right. Let's do this. So the Homelab CoreDNS. So CoreDNS is the DNS server that's used by Kubernetes. What is CoreDNS? And it's better than, I'm assuming it's better than installing. Oh, it's written in Go. Huzzah. Maybe I can do some contributions. Use multiple environments of flexible CoreDNS is licensed under Apache 2 because they're geniuses. Oh my God, I'm so excited to use this. I'm actually kind of giddy. Oh, I'm so giddy. CoreDNS integrates with Kubernetes via the Kubernetes plugin or with etcd. Ooh, see, this is why we're installing it first, because I have to do etcd next. Wait, where's my log? I was keeping a log so that I could keep what things have to be done in order if somebody wants to do what I'm doing. There it is. All right, so fix me. All right, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do a log. I'm gonna make like captain's log stardate. Stardate September 21st, 11th. It was the day after the anniversary of the Twin Towers coming down. And I was contemplating how on earth I could participate in making the world a safer place. But I thought to myself, I could set up a home lab and help teach people to be really wicked dangerous. And so I set out to understand CoreDNS. I'm in a good mood. I don't know if it's like the coffee or the vitamin B12 or the company. I don't. What time is it? Oh, we have 1.5 hours, and then we're back to go. The cube the hard way sort of path. No, cube the hard way is not. We're cube the CubeADM standard way. That's what we are. People keep talking about cube the hard way. Look, do not do Kubernetes the hard way. It is completely defunct and insecure at this point. Okay, look, great dude who made it, but he'd be the first one. Kelsey Tower, he'd tell you that right now. It's like if you're doing the hard way, if you're following my tutorial the hard way, you're like really, really behind, because that entire thing was encapsulated in CubeADM. CubeADM is the new hard way. And if you want to understand how to install Kubernetes, go read the source for CubeADM. Oh, snap, you have to learn Go to do that, which is why we're learning it in the boost. Segue to a plug. Watch the Beginner Boost Sundays from 2 to 6 o'clock. 4 hours of uninterrupted Go programming, where we get our Go on from a Linux terminal environment. You too can learn Go for free. This is the guy that says I'm not a hacker. This is the part where he gets to say, "See, I told you. All you do is talk." It would be right. I'm not getting anything done. Install determined to install CoreDNS before. Oh, my wife just got home. She's home early. What is she doing home so early? Old laptop. We already covered that. I need a Homelab command. I'm going to go at it right now. Damn it. I got too many things to do. Okay, I'll just give you the link. Homelab. There you go. You go read that. At the beginning of it is the answer to your question. Also, if you go back in the VOD, this is going on YouTube. If you go back on the VOD, if you watch the beginning, I actually go through all the details of the hardware that I decided to keep. A lot of it I'm getting rid of. Determined to install Kubernetes before etcd so that nothing in the entire architecture does not have a DNS name. Thanks to Ryan Wilcox for the reminder that doing so, did I do that name right? Yeah. That doing so would prevent decision making now about the subnet and a VLAN architecture. What's that? Speaking of writing a shell earlier, wait a minute, how neat is CLI with this about list? Oh, I bet that would be cool. Yeah. Wow, that's super cool. Where is your terminal vim config on Git? Well, we got new people here today. This is awesome. By the way, I'm going to take a moment. Please go watch the boost where we go into exhaustive detail about everything I'm doing. And I've been doing it for a while. I spent a long time updating the boost this weekend. The boost documentation there. So go making sure you click on 2022. You can go get that. Core DNS, which is written in Go, works very nicely since there is a Kubernetes plugin to use it externally. Normally, Kubernetes uses it internally by default. You can go means that I can actually read and understand the source of the most important DNS server in the entire cloud native landscape. Also, it doesn't suck like bind. Winky face. Oh, that's not a winky face. That's not a winky face. Okay. I'm back. Cigar and Artifacts Rob time. That's very nice. It's only 6 o'clock. Look at that. We did that. I'm making this thing here so that I can tell people what I did, so they can catch up. And hey, who knows? Maybe I'll actually copy and paste it into the show notes for the video. How about that? Reviewed and updated inventory of all available hardware. What else did we do? We discussed. Should I put should I do bullet points? I'm gonna do bullet points. Bullet points. We're gonna do bullet points because they're cool. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm very happy. What else did we do? We talked about UPSs, right? Discussed future power consumption needs and UPS possibilities. All right. I still don't know if I should put periods at the end of that because it's not a sentence, you know. Are you supposed to have a period? I don't know. I should know that. You didn't know this was even a thing? It's been here a while. How'd you not know that? I've done it the last 3 years. Officer Wolf, good to see you. All right, so that's it. Now we have to actually go do what I just said. We have to go figure out about CoreDNS and install it. CoreDNS plugins Route 53. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's add this document, and then I'm going to add it to my links. Watch, through the magic of links, bookmarks, and VI, I'm able to drop that right into there. Yeah. Well, you know, it's pretty prevalent on my about page. You see how nice I am now, everybody? I want everybody who knows me, who's known me for 2.5 years, to take a moment and say to yourself, look how nice Rob is being to these people who have never read the about page. Because there was a time when I would have ripped your head off for not doing basic research and gotten mad at you. I am not mad at you. And then they would say, "Oh, you're the asshole that everybody says you are." And I say, "No, now you know better. You're not going to do that. You're not going to go ask, a dumb question in IRC because you know better to go do the research and find out." He goes, "Well, you could have just answered the question." But I don't do that anymore. Now I give them the answer, and I said, and then as the nice Rob, I'm like, okay. And by the way, that question you just asked is literally in the title. Not today, but it's literally in the title. What are you doing today? Have you read the title? You might want to do that. Or it's like, have you read the about page? Did you see the big title that says Bang Boost and it talks all about the beginner boost? This is the first time I'm hearing it. How come you didn't say anything before? Well, it was there, but I don't have to be mean. I'm not picking on anybody here. Please don't misunderstand. A few of you ask questions. I don't want you to feel picked on. I really honestly don't. I just don't. But I just want to take a note to tell everybody how. I mean, I've seriously had people storm off and ban me for not directly answering a question and forcing them to go look it up. And I don't do that anymore. Nah, I still eat their heads off. So, look, okay, new Rob. What time is it? All right, we have an hour and a half, and my wife is home, so I don't want to go bother her right now. So we're gonna stay focused. We only have 25 minutes of Homelab Init. I will probably be doing more Homelab Init after the Q&A, QCA. So you can come back to that if you want to. Is there anybody on the stage? I don't know if there is. There's not many people on the stage. If you want to come on the stage, you can. I wish it made a noise when people raise their hands so I could hear it. Anyway, we are a cloud native graduated project. CoreDNS integrates Kubernetes via Kubernetes plugin. We animate Kubernetes fast and efficient, also flexible thanks to the plugins. You can compile CoreDNS and the plugins. I cannot wait to look at the source code of CoreDNS. I hope that it's not as bad as Kubernetes. Simplicity. We strive to keep things as simple as possible with save defaults. Here's a core file for CoreDNS.io. But to be fair, I normally have you on to learn just what you're doing while working on college homework. Yeah, and don't feel picked on. Don't feel picked on. But yeah. Simplicity. We strive to keep things as simple and possibly have a sane defaults. Here's a CoreDNS file. What's the format for that file? Is that HashiCorp? Is that HCL? Please tell me it's not HCL. Kubernetes core source code is bad. It's written by a bunch of Java coders. I mean, it's good, but you can tell it was written by Java coders. It's a custom format. Oh, thank you for that. Okay. Look, I am grateful for Kubernetes. Please don't misunderstand. I can still think the code sucks. Or the style, anyway. The language choices, the organization. It was written by a bunch of Java coders. That's what it was written by, and that's fine. That's totally fine. You have to know what you're getting into. We strive to keep things as simple as possible and have the same defaults. Yeah. Do I need to go further? Thank you, Shars. That's a great example. That is, and I haven't found the word factory anywhere in there. If I found the word factory, I'm going to throw something through the window. So, just know what you're getting into. Bring your bottle of scotch or whatever when you're going to go look through the Kubernetes source code. The CoreDNS is from a different team. It's from the CoreOS team, which I'm really glad CoreDNS survived because CoreOS didn't. Kind of went to Rancher, I think, and then whatever. It's not objectively bad. No, it is. It definitely is. Damn you, roasted function. Ugh, now I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. Please tell me it's not ADAPATR. If it's actually misspelled like that, you made a spelling error, not them, right? Please, God, tell me that they do not codify. If it's you that made the spelling error, I'm fine. I can forgive you. If it's them who implement it that way, it's an interface. Yeah, I mean, interface is okay if they're going to be a little bit long. Okay. We'll say it was me. Okay, you're on mobile? Oh, man, I'm impressed then. I'm really impressed that you'll be able to type like that. Okay. What were we doing? We're looking up CoreDNS. Simplicity. Okay, well, how do I install the thing? Home of the users. Home of our users. Kubernetes. Blah, 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 blah. GitHub, Slack, Twitter, CNCF. Should I go follow them on Twitter? On the Twitter? I should probably follow them on the Twitter. Where's my Twitter? Here, Twitter. CoreDNS IO is like one of the cool domains. Wow, look at that. Follow. I'm not even following you. Now I am. Only 3,000, only about 4,000 people following them. How? Interface in the interface name. If you do that, no. Just no. Someone slap you. And tell you to go stand in a corner and think about your actions. You don't really do that. HR will come after you. Don't actually do that. Okay, hot on the heels of previous releases, we've cut CoreDNS 1.8, which is a small bug fix release. Binaries, CoreDNS, release. Very boring. Okay, so it's not a place. Joe Beta, what is he? Beta, Beta. Is it Beta or Beta? Joe, what's your last name? How do you say it? Joe's retired now. Joe's like, sipping lattes somewhere. He's retired. He's retired. You heard about that, right? Was hosting TGI. Kate's excited about Luke talking CoreDNS. Luke's talking about. Did Luke make CoreDNS? Luke sounds like a person to follow. I don't know who anybody is because I'm like stuck in my apartment. So I have to Twitch stream to go like meet all the cool people. I get the feeling that I should probably follow Luke. Wines App OS, sales engineer for VMware, Linux gamer. Ouch. Okay, Luke, I'll follow you anyway. It's not the same Luke that from Linus Does Tech, is it? Luke, if you're out there, thank you for being here and talking at VMware conferences, which I will not attend because conferences are a waste of fucking time. Unless there's people there you want to meet. That's the only reason you should go. Speaking of which, I will be at KubeCon for exactly 2 days. Now, I will not be purchasing a ticket because it's too fucking expensive. But I will be at a pub and I will make myself known if you want to come there and we can have a little RWX KubeCon and drink beer and just get to know each other and talk and IRL stream it. Stay tuned for that, but I will be at KubeCon. It's now a for sure thing. I'm just imagine going to KubeCon to meet Rob. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be speaking. I don't think that was him. No, it's a different person. We're not going to talk about Poor Man's KubeCon. Yeah, we're going to KubeCon to meet the people. I don't have enough money I can't go to all the days anyway, so I wouldn't buy it even if I had the money. So don't worry about me. Don't be sad. But I am going to go there and I'm going to find a place to drink and to talk to anybody who wants to come meet me. And we are IRL streaming that stuff. So, if you don't want to be doxxed, then don't come. Or, I don't know. Let me know privately somehow. I'll meet you without a camera on. Loads of free merch. Yeah, free merch. Yeah. Okay. So the corporate cost to go to KubeCon is $1,500. They better well give you a lot of damn merch for that cost. All the people who organize these KubeCons are like yelling at me right now. They're grumbling. Why is this guy so harshing on conferences? It's pretty far away. It is. Well, we're going to do another one in Charlotte here too. I'm going to start doing them regionally. Yeah. Give me time though. I have to, set up my stuff and I have a big trip to plan with my wife, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we followed the CoreDNS Twitter site. We are making progress. Built with Hugo, resolved via CoreDNS, served with Netlify, all good things that I like. It's basically almost go all the way down. Thank God. How do I install you? Install, manual. Download, view on GitHub. Should we do that? CoreDNS. Clone core. I'm going to do some magic here. CoreDNS. Don't you wish you had that magic? I typed one command. I have all of the code. And it's going to CD into the directory, so now I can immediately look at it. And I did all of that in under 10 seconds. You can learn how to do this too on the Beginner Boost. Hey, look at the Docker file. apt-get. What's this? YYQQ. I didn't know there were two Ys. I didn't even non-interactive. CI certs from scratch. 53. They have a make file, my friends. If there's just phony things in here, I'm going to be disappointed. Yep, that's all they have. This is so sad. I am going to put this question in here. I'm going to put a question in here for QCA right now. Why are make files so horribly abused? And this is a good example. I'm going to show it off of how bad it is. This is a horrible thing. This is a horrible, bad travesty that the world... Okay, maybe there's one or two places that this makes sense. Yeah, this one, these two might make it sense. Okay, well, I might save it, but we'll talk about that. They love their make files, but why? Let's not go there. All right, I want to install this thing. So how do I install it? It has a man page though. Yeah, look, I'm not ready to talk about it yet. What time is it? Okay, 15 minutes. Wait 15 minutes and we'll talk about it. All right, so why do I have like weird light on me? It's like Thor Love and Thunder or something. It was a horrible movie. It was not as bad the second time around. CoreDNS server. How do I install you? Do I just do go install? Plugin, that's the server plugin. Yep. Oh, my bad markdown. I'm going to fix all their markdown for them. Look at how bad this is. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like they made their default like 100 width. All right, fine, whatever. It's a question. We're going to talk about it in 15 minutes. Yeah. I already have that. I put why are make files so horribly abused. Make a cell. I don't want to do that. No. Because I want to put it in my Ansible rule to install a CoreOS if it's not over there. It's made it go, yeah. So I can just do go get. I know. I'm wondering if they have some reason not to do that. That's why I'm looking for, my friends. So there's like a million reasons not to do this. I imagine what version is it? Their version 11. What the hell kind of tag is that? Go they make? No. What I do? Okay, SSH. Let's go on to. I'm just gonna do a direct install. Actually, yeah, let's do that. We can still. I can't revert. It's not a VM, but I think we're fine. So SSH to mini one. Basically, I want to really think about this because the stuff I'm doing on this is raw hardware. It's not a VM I can snap back because I want it that way. I don't want to pay the overhead for the VM on these things because they're pretty tiny. And so we'll go to mini one. Yeah. And let's see. If they even have it. What? Oh, I need to update my things. Nope, not there. Yeah, I suspect that that's not going to be the way to install it. Yeah. Source discovery simplicity. We're going to be, where's the manual? Manual. It's going to have a nice, pretty manual that it's not going to look as good. What is CoreDNS installation? Here we go. CoreDNS is ready to go, unless you want to develop plugins. The people section, blah, 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 binaries. For CoreDNS, really probably compile binaries. ARM privacy architecture, Docker image, nope, source, can compile source, testing. Yep. So, as I thought, we're just going to have to crawl down the binaries, or I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking about how I need to make an Ansible rule for installing CoreDNS if I wanted to if I want to provision another Mac Mini. So let's say one of my Mac Minis dies. So even though I'm writing logs about this, I'm eventually going to make Ansible recipes for it so that it just provisions a CoreDNS server. And it'll bring it up. And there's probably already an Ansible rule for it, but I haven't done Ansible setup on here yet. So I'm wondering if I should take the time to do that and then write it as Ansible right now, rather than, never coming back to it. So, I imagine, I can easily install it over there. That's not a problem. The question is, the configuration stuff that comes after that, and that's where Ansible really comes in, particularly since I have to do this 3 times, and with a slight variation between the two. No such luck. We can. Once you have a CoreDNS binary, you can use this plugin the component plugins. CoreDNS DNS port. We can start CoreDNS and run. This is kind of weird because this doesn't put CoreDNS into your systemd services or anything, which makes me wonder. You know what I mean? It's like, it's cool. I love that it's a standalone binary, but we're going to have to make a service for it to bring it up and down all the time if we're going to keep it in our system TTL kind of stuff, and it probably has that, but they're so obsessed with these plugin things. They're not telling us like standard installation. I think they're probably just leaving it to be up to us. Bind, as said, control interface, bind, root, health, ready, and enemy plugins. CoreDNS service. Did they have it in their deployment? All right. DNS deployment. I want to go see that. Let's go see that. Oh, you have it in systemd. Oh, cool. I didn't see this. Thank you very much, LVG. So they may not have a provided unit. Well, if it's running a container, then I'm running a container outside of. Let's talk about that for a second. So, how much time we got? 10 minutes. Let's make a conclusion here. So, I don't mind saying at work, our non-Kubernetes environments are deployed using Docker containers as well, including OpenLDAP. So OpenLDAP is deployed as a container that has nothing to do with Kubernetes. And it's not, the system doesn't even have a kubelet on it or anything like that. And so the infrastructure, the question I have, this is a question for everybody. The question I have is, are we seeing infrastructure engineers deploy core infrastructure as containers without any orchestrator in the wild? Is this a common practice? So I know that we do it. And so the answer to the question, how does this relate? The question is, should I install, Docker or Containerd or OCI or whatever? It would have to be Containerd, because Containerd and OCID, I'd have to use, Scopio or Builda, or, honestly, I probably should just install Docker if I'm going to do that, because I need to use, Docker command line stuff. If I'm going to be on the system, I'm going to be deploying Docker components that are independent from everything else. What is it going to get me? What's it going to get me? Is it going to get me so I can do automatic updates better? Oopsie, sorry. But another way you could do it would be run it as a service, and you just install it and you're good to go. I'm kind of on the fence here. I'm wondering what containers in this case are going to get me, because it's just a binary, for God's sake. No process management or restart, so you'd have to monitor them anyways. You don't think they use in Docker? I'm not following. So is Red Hat? Yeah, well, I don't know. Look, I told you I like Red Hat technologies. I don't Red Hat as a company. I'm using an Apple. I like Apple computers. I don't like Apple as a company. It's a different thing. Why not use Ubuntu's native system resolved? Because we want to use CoreDNS, because I want to get good with CoreDNS, because we already covered this. It has to stay up, so you want systemd, yeah? Docker containers, we wouldn't even be sure if they were going to come up or down or anything, right? Okay, so let's put that in our log. Let's see, decided. Wait, we need to go back. GitHub CoreDNS deployment. To use the systemd deployment, since it has to be reliably up and managed as a service, even though others may run it from a container. This question is going to come up again later, because when it comes to when we do OpenLDAP and stuff, about whether I should run core infrastructure as a part of the raw system or if I should run it in a container. And I don't think some of this stuff needs to be run in a container personally. The only thing in a container gets you is automated updates and stuff like that, right? If you wanted to do an update, you'd have to, it's harder to update it. In this case, you just have to replace the binary. So I don't see that being a big issue, but that's an interesting question. The reason I'm not using the built-in bind, we already talked about it earlier, is because bind sucks, first of all, and secondly, it's CoreDNS is already a part of Kubernetes and it's written to Go, and learning about it's simpler to use and configure, and learning how to configure and deal with CoreDNS is also core to understanding Kubernetes DNS, because CoreDNS is the default in Kubernetes. So rather than use the old bind that comes with Linux or BSD or any of that, we're using, the new hotness, which is Go, and hopefully it's going to be just as cool. And we're going to run that, and then all the knowledge that I learned about it will double as Kubernetes administration knowledge. Deployment tree master system D. Yeah. I'll just go here. Thank you for that. Okay, so, but that's why I'm keeping a log of these decisions and stuff, because rather than have just a design decisions. Again, yeah. And we've already decided. I mean, we talked to us. Everybody talked me into deploying DNS again. I had kind of given up on that. I was going to do it before, and I was like, I don't really need it. I can just use my. And then they're like, no, but if you want to emulate DNS tunneling attacks and all that kind of thing, you need to have control of your own DNS server internally on your Homelab. And I'm like, I'm all down now about that. And so then when the next thing is, well, where do we run it? Do we run it externally like etcd, like I'm going to be doing, or do we do it? And so we're going to run it outside like this. And that means it's just a service here. So I could probably just bring it over and just run it. I've never added another systemd service before. I've used existing ones, but I haven't gotten into the new systemd like internals as much as I need to write my own services and thing like I used to do back in the Init days. So that's coming next. Reading for README. Ooh. Yes, thank you for that. Copy link address. Let's do that. Yeah, let's definitely do that. What is it, Systy? I might be able to actually go visit that. Oh, that's a man page. It's a man page. Is it not? Man system, man sys. Users.d. Yeah. All right. So man sys users.d. So we can go read about that some more. I think we're ready for CQA. So thank you for being here. We can answer some of these questions. I'm going to go ahead and close this down. If you want to continue with the crazy, come over to Twitch, YouTube. That's where we're doing it. We're doing this from 6:30 to 7 most weekdays, not all. And I will go ahead and save this. So let me actually commit my change before I leave. I don't remember where I am. Let me make sure I'm in the right place here. This is good because these notes are gonna, get us going on. External. Okay, because we're getting ready to do the CoreDNS stuff, which we'll do tonight probably. And get status, get add. I'm going to be kind of, git commit dash m add CoreDNS and updates based on feedback. Git push. So there you go. That's artifactsrob/homelab on GitHub. If you want to go read that, you can go follow along and follow the log there if you want. I'll be working more on that tonight. All right. Bye, YouTube.